Between 2013 and now, I have seen enough evidence that shows, whether on purpose or not, um, white people will get the attention and brown people will just be invisible. In 2013, everyone heard about Edward Snowden. He blew the whistle on the wrongdoing of the military, the US government spying on friends, on Americans, breaking the US laws. In 2013, there was also another big case. The US Air Force ambushed me, Staff Sergeant Pham. They tried to hang me for being a Chinese spy. They spread rumors around the command structure that I was trying to flee to China to sell national security secret. They illegally detained me at Patrick Air Force Base for 4 months. They did not let me go until they were worried I was going to kill every single one of them. I, at the time, uh, contacted Tom Greenwald, who supported and propelled the story for Edward Snowden. He said my story was not relevant, it doesn't impact anybody. And then today, or a few days ago, a major in the U.S. Air Force stood at the Capitol Hill and asked for the impeachment of his commander in chief. And he did this in uniform and black sunglasses. He looked cool doing it, but it it does nothing. Uh, it's not the same as committing suicide, but it's pretty much close. I mean, he's gonna lose everything, and it will be hard for him to rebuild his life. But anyway, there are better ways to deal with the wrong that he see. If he was fighting injustice, there are a better way, more impactful way. In war, we really don't want to have a hero who just want to play the hero. They basically cause other people to die. So not only is he gonna damage everything he got, he's gonna damage the unit he's with. Everyone related to him is going to suffer, etc. That's the point. The point here is he gets the attention for doing something stupid. I stood up and reported wrongdoing, not like Edward Snowden, but properly. I write up 13 pages of documents stating the date and time and the witnesses available that shows how my boss was committing treason, violating U.S. laws, stealing, embezzlement, bullying, hostile work environment, assault, submitted to his boss and CC him. Everything was done by the book with a lot of honor. A lot of people would file a complaint about you but never let you know, right? But I told my boss that I'm complaining about him and I sent him a copy of the complaint that I'm sending to his boss. You cannot get more honorable than what I did there. And when they want to hang me for being a Chinese spy, they should have followed the law. They should have reported me to OSI, Office of Special Investigation, or even FBI. I mean, that was within the authority, right? When you suspect someone of a spy, you follow the procedures on what to do with a spy. You don't get to play spy versus spy. You're not trained for that, and you're not authorized to play that game. You're also not authorized to break the U.S. Constitution because you think someone else is a spy. We have due process and we have laws. The big issue here is I noticed that the whole media, it seemed to be designed to keep story like mine invisible. Like no matter what happened, no one will hear about me. But whatever that needs to be heard, it will be heard from a white guy, right? This major from the U.S. Air Force. Why is he so important? And why am I not important enough to be heard? Is reporting treason not important? Why is Edward Snowden elevated to the status he was, and I am completely outside the news because I won against the U.S. Air Force. But all of the Chinese spy who have lost, you see them in the news. The daughter of Huawei CEO got arrested in Canada. Navy seaman in San Diego took a selfie and is a Chinese spy. The mayor of Arcadia was talking to some Chinese agent, so she's a Chinese spy. All these people are in the news for being a Chinese spy. How come me, Staff Sergeant Pham, is not in the news for being a Chinese spy? It's as if your entire news network is part of the scam. Everything is orchestrated from the top down to the bottom, down to the revolutionary man. Even this one, I don't want to say that it was staged and he's part of the acting crew, but the system works in such a way that all of this event with the pro institution and the counter culture revolution is all part of the same strategic mindset. Someone behind all of this is orchestrating all of this, curating what we see, curating who we see as the hero. So instead of the brown guy as the hero that stood up for the U.S. Constitution, you cannot see it because somehow, somewhere, someone is making that decision and effectively making it so. But white people are consistently being put to the front as the savior. So this is very much like 1984, and it's hard for you to believe that someone has this much control over the media that they could curate who become hero, and who become invisible, and who become Chinese spies. But it's just to show that you cannot trust what you see. Even the news, even all of the news outlet that was pro Edward Snowden, I cannot fully trust that they were working for the people. Because if they were, why won't they report my story? And because they won't report my story, but they report Edward Snowden, it gives me reason to believe that all of them work for the CIA, including Edward Snowden. That the CIA was just sending out the smartest guy, Edward Snowden, to go into Russia, defect into Russia, and play a double agent. This is stuff that you cannot really find evidence for, but you have to ask good questions like why was X shown in the news and why was Y not shown in the news? Why are white people are the one that play the hero in movie and in real life, like now? And then brown people are shown as crazy, undeveloped, barbaric, monster, like weird looking stuff. Look at female artists; they look like monster, but they say this is pop culture, so Asian female is supposed to look like monster, and what is Celine Dion and stuff should look like white angels. I just look at a lot of the Asian pop star and the white Caucasian pop star. Why is there such a contrast?